There's a difference between having a chart set up and actually understanding when to have bigger size, when to pull back on your position size, when to book quicker profits, and when to be adding, how to use market internals, all of those kinds of things. And you know what? I'm actually going to take even a step further back here. Let me actually show you the questions that are required actually on my coaching call. So I'm actually going to take you to a little bit of a deep dive here on that as well. So you can see we actually have our coaching sessions tonight, actually. And these are the questions. So when you're thinking about what you can actually do to produce some of the gains in the market, obviously you got to go through this list. What is your edge? How do you scan for your edge? Trading your edge with real money, entry setups, entering at the optimal entry, how to not buy too late, which actually is the big lesson I want to talk about today. Position size, reading the market, reading sector rotation, how secondary indicators like the market internals affect decisions. So you get the idea here, right? I'll actually post this for you on what I'm about to show you on the newsletter. Now, why is this important and how does that translate into this week? There's a very big thing that we do: order flow and tape reading. Order flow is how long has smart money been allocating money to a particular idea. And that's a part of what we call order flow stacking. Order flow stacking is thinking through the charts and saying it's more than just an ascending wedge, like all of those fancy kind of patterns, right? We actually train everybody to think that there's real money being allocated. How long has that money been allocated, and how long can we have that conviction? But the second part is the part that a lot of people miss, which is going to be really affecting this week of trading, which is it still valid? In that time period that I'm looking to trade. So in the universe that we're mostly talking about right now, which is a swing trade, which would be like over the next, let's say 3 to 10 days, depending on how fast that stock moves in that direction. We can look at a lot of stocks this week, specifically semiconductor stocks, which are really obvious, but they're probably not going to be valid swing trades this week. This week's order flow will most likely be bearish because of profit taking, because of news that we just saw on Micron pulling back that whole sector. So no matter what, we're not even looking for an entry. But here's where it really gets into the next level of actually making money and seeing your trading account grow with, quite frankly, predictability when you learn the skill. And let's be clear about this. Trading is a skill. And that's actually pretty exciting. For some people, oh God, I got to learn it. Yeah. But if you learn it, you then will have that skill for the rest of your life. And that's where all that stress in your life just decompresses because you're in charge of making money and trying to make your account grow from 1 week to the next, 1 month to the next, right? But this is where it becomes significant. You're going to look at a lot of stocks and a lot of headlines this week about how strong semiconductor stocks have been, how strong Google has been, how strong Amazon has been, venturing off into a couple of other sectors. This week, there's a really good chance those stocks are going to pull back. They've been on fire. There's a little bit of negative news, Meta in that sector. We also have negative news on semiconductor stocks, which means now that those stocks now need to go into our tracking journal until we find a new optimal entry, which means now we just got to work a little bit extra, another 10 minutes at night, and find ideas that are now near the optimal entry, setting up the new trade. If you're really advanced, maybe even if the market pulls back this week, got a lot going on, right? The debt ceiling is a huge conversation right now. If the market pulls back a little bit this week, do you understand short selling? Maybe you might look to either straight up short sell some stocks this week if the market's going down. Etsy is one of those stocks I'm looking at this week on a move to the downside. If that ends up being the case, you can hedge against any long. So in other words, you might have some opportunities that you want to hold and short sell or buy puts on some of these stocks that you would think are going down if you understand that side of the equation. If you don't understand hedging or you don't want to do that, maybe you don't even have an options account. That's the second part of the trade, which is it right to be holding these ideas when they've been producing these 40, 50% moves in a very short period of time? So remember, everything we do is what's likely to happen next. Likely to happen next means if I hold this or buy this now, is that the best place to allocate my money? Or is there someplace else that I could put my money where it'll catch the next move, the next optimal entry, the next optimal entry? And that's what our job is. Our job as money managers, which you are, if you're on this call right now or you're watching this video, you are a money manager. You're managing your own money. So the question now is, how qualified are you to believe when you wake up every single day that you expect to make money, that you'll understand what the optimal entry is, that you understand order flow and whether or not it's still valid? That's what we're going to talk about here today. And again, if you want my whole system, click that link below and make sure you join me. The boot camp starts today. And actually, I just talked before about chart setups and platforms and everything. We actually, the very first thing we do in the boot camp, it's actually at noon today. I'm going to actually show everybody how to set up the charts exactly the way I do it in my own trading platform.